Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over a strong competitive moveset build to teach Hitmonlee in the Gen 1 Pokemon games, and essentially Hitmonlee functions as a glass cannon where it can deal out damage, but it really can't take much in the way of a hit given its attack is all the way up there at 120 and also decent speed at 87. But the rest of its stats are pretty poor with its special at 35, so if you're hit by a special attack, you're really going to be hurting. Also defense down there at 53 and HP at 50. So its fighting type means it resists bug and rock. It's going to be weak to flying and psychic. And with psychic being so prevalent in the Gen 1 meta, that also means Hitmonlee is in a tough situation if he's hit by those psychic attacks. Taking a look at this physical attacker build, and I'm going to be going over whether these moves are learned through leveling up or through TM, and then also the location that you can find these TMs and the resources used in this video, you can find links to down in the description. So Body Slam, move number 1, 30% chance to paralyze the opposition, 85 power, 100 accuracy, and you're hoping that you can go against paralyzed opponents as a Hitmonlee because, again, he's not very tanky, so you don't want to be taking a lot of hits. And also, if you're going against a paralyzed opposition, you can even use something like a substitute in your build to put out something to protect Hitmonlee if your opposition is able to work its way through that paralysis to defeat the substitute as opposed to knocking out your Hitmonlee. But again, Body Slam, this one is going to be a TM, and it's found over on the SSN. It's going to be TM08, and it is found on the first floor of the SSN in the second room from the left. And then move number 2 here, we have Counter, and this one has to be used strategically. If the last attack used by your opposition that hit was a normal or fighting type move, then when you use Counter, you're going to deal double damage. So it can deal a ton of damage, but you have to use it in a strategic manner. This one is also going to be a TM, and TM18 Counter is found over at the Celadon department store. In Generation 1, a man behind the counter on the 3rd floor of the Celadon department store will give you that TM18. The next move is going to be one that Hitmonlee learns natively, and all of the fighting type Pokemon wish that they had access to high jump kick in the Gen 1 games, but it is just Hitmonlee. If it misses, the user takes 1 HP of damage, so not a big deal. It's 90 accuracy, 85 power, same type attack bonus, and this one is going to be picked up through leveling up at level 48 for Hitmonlee. And then move number 4, you have some different options. You can go with Seismic Toss, and if you're in a competitive battle where everything is level 100, Seismic Toss cuts through defense and will deal 100 damage, which is kind of nice. Seismic Toss is going to be another TM, and this one is found over on Route 25 north of Cerulean City, and it's right by this cuttable tree. That's where you can find TM19 Seismic Toss. You can also potentially go with Mimic, which grabs a random move known by the opposition to try to pick up something strategic to teach your Hitmonlee. And Mimic is found over in Saffron City at Copycat's house, and Copycat is located in the northwest of Saffron City in the Gen 1 games. If you give them a Pokédoll, in return you will get TM31 Mimic. I'm not as much of a fan of that one on Hitmonlee in particular. I think Substitute can be used in a really interesting way, especially if you're going against a paralyzed opposition. And Substitute also pairs interestingly in the Gen 1 games with Counter, where if your opposition destroys the Substitute, you can still use Counter to inflict that double damage. So that's an added benefit, particularly in the Gen 1 games, to having Substitute in combination with Counter. And going over to our TM list, Substitute is going to be TM50, and it's found over at the Rocket Game Corner for 7,700 coin. And that's going to round out this build. And I like going Body Slam, Counter with High Jump Kick, and then in that 4th move, you can kind of go with the strategic move that you want to go with, but I think Substitute can work really well in this particular build. But those other moves can bring some interesting things to the table as well. So that's going to wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I'll catch you back here next time.